Hey parents, do you know that moment when you can feel an argument is just kicking off, or maybe your teenager's getting really revved up, or maybe you're getting really fired up, and you end up stumbling down the rabbit hole of a fruitless battle with your teenager where everyone ends up just feeling depleted and exhausted afterwards? Well, if you have, you're not alone. But what if I told you there's just one thing that can help you stop making the mistakes where you end up derailing your conversations that fall into an argument? And in fact, if you use this one thing, your kids were more likely to pay attention to you and actually start listening to you. And it's simple and really easy to learn. And it takes far less mental strain than arguing with a teenager. My name's Selena from Small Giants, and together with my business partner, Marianne, who's a life coach extraordinaire, who taught me this one thing, we have far less arguments in our household, more cooperative behavior, and just a happier family dynamic. And I'm dealing with 3 kids and 3 stepkids in a blended family, and so I test this stuff out daily. And look, I'm not saying our life is all roses. It's really hard to keep your cool when you are dealing with work pressures or finances or schedules or just running a household. But before I found out this one thing, when my kids started acting out or something was going wrong, I usually resort to either being a tyrant parent where I would just lay down the law because I was just over it, or I would just want to ignore the problem and just put my head in the sand and just hopefully just let it just dissolve all by itself because I was over it and I just wanted it finished ASAP. And I really felt like nothing was working that well. And as soon as they turned into teenagers, it seemed to get worse. And I had no idea that there was an easier way. And these are the exact issues that I took to Marianne, and she explained this to me. She revealed that there are 5 secret emotional keys that underlie any conversation. And once we address these keys, we can communicate much more effectively with far less effort and angst. And I knew parents everywhere would benefit greatly from this. You see, there are 2 parts to every conversation. There's the problem and there's the emotion. And so often we just focus on the problem, like the who, the what, the why, the when, and we ignore the emotional side of it. What we need to get clear on is the underlying issue in all of this. And when you address the underlying issue here in the conversation, everyone starts to feel heard and more likely to open up and engage with it. And there are 5 emotional keys, and I'll give you an example of one of them. One of them is on fairness. You see, we all have this innate sense of fairness, and if something is perceived to not being fair, we can all get triggered. So, for example, how you could apply this is when your kids are arguing over whose turn it is on PlayStation, they might say to you things like, oh, it's not fair. And so what you can do is go back to them and say, well, what would make it fair? Or which bit isn't fair here? And your kids might actually surprise you and they come up with their own solution. You see, even if you consider just one of these keys in talking to your children, these keys can actually guide you to pivot away from an argument. You can speak to your kids in a way that they listen and ask, so they actually cooperate, and it's as simple as that. Now, you might not get this right the first time, and it might not work in every conversation because maybe there's already too much baggage, and that's okay. We have other products that can help you dig a little deeper and find resolution and insight there. But there will be times where you will notice these keys are being triggered, and it will help you navigate the conversation so it's a less heated argument. And even if it cuts out 10% or 20% or even 50% of your arguments, wouldn't that be worth it? So here's how it can play out. In the short term, you'll learn how to stop making these mistakes that derail your conversations. And in the medium term, you're going to notice that the next time you have an argument, it's probably way less heated. And in the long term, you're going to have just a better relationship with your kids and even other, friends or work colleagues, because this stuff works with everyone. And so we wrote a book about it. It's only 90 pages long and you can read it in an afternoon. And it's more than just a parenting book. It's 100% practical, easy to implement, it will impact your next conversation. And look, it can still be challenging, but I feel better equipped to handle tricky situations where, we don't always agree, but at least we've got better understanding between each other and what's really going on for me and for my teenagers. So we know solutions are great and we know wisdom's great, but without action, nothing happens. And I have something great for you to take action on today. So in our short, sharp, succinct, immediately impactful book, called the Understanding the 5 Secret Keys to Their Emotional Needs. And here's what to do next. Click on the button below and it will take you through to the book purchase page and you can get it instantly as a download. And as soon as you place your order, you'll get an automated receipt and your book directly into your email so you can access it anywhere. Oh, and I absolutely guarantee it. You can purchase this book now, read it. If you're not happy with it for any reason, let me know and just send back your order number and we will refund your book 100%. No questions asked. So click the button below and grab our book and you can look forward to having less heated arguments and start enjoying this parenting gig a whole lot more. Thanks for listening.